Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It is Thursday evening, which means it's match preview show night, and it does seem like it's been quite a while since we did anything on YouTube. Unfortunately, because of the passing of Queen Elizabeth II last week, everything was put on hold for a few days. The Crawley preview that I had recorded didn't ever go out live, but we are back. We've got a midweek game to talk about, and I'm pleased to say, ahead of the weekend visit of Mansfield Town, I am joined by Sam Binch, and he runs Mansfield Musings on Twitter. So I will put his Twitter handle and the Twitter handle for the Mansfield Musings page in the description at the bottom of the video. Sam, appreciate you coming on, taking the time out your evening. You good?
No worries. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks to you.
Very well. Yeah, we scored a goal in the week, so I can't complain. That's a step in the right direction. Let's get straight into this. Recent form doesn't make great reading for the Gills. It's only 3 points from the last 6 games. That's 3 draws and 3 defeats. Only winning the league coming back on the 6th of August at home to Rochdale, who are currently the worst team in the entire Football League. But signs of improvement. Mansfield a lot better, 10 points from the last half dozen fixtures, and that is 3 wins, a draw and a pair of defeats. But breaking it down at home and away, it sort of levels the playing field a little bit, Sam. Gills have played 4 times at the Priestfield. There's a solitary defeat, there's a win and 2 draws. So 5 points from 12. 1 win for Mansfield, which was their most recent away trip. But before then, 3 defeats on the bounce away from home. Any particular reason why you've struggled a little bit on your travels so far?
No, it's a bit of a mystery. We've played well in most of the games, probably bar the first half of the Salford game. First game of the season, we had a bit of a makeshift defence. Got ripped apart in the first half, really, but then second half we gave it a good go. There's no real change in style away from home, same formation, same personnel. It just wasn't clicking for whatever reason. I'd say we've had pretty tough away games, to be fair. Salford, Orient and Sutton, who are really good at home. And obviously Doncaster, you'd say, would probably be a tough one as well, but we played really well at Doncaster, so you'd be hoping that we can continue that performance into the next away game.
Yeah, sure. Like I say, so that's a tough set of fixtures. I think they're all in the top half at the moment, and Doncaster were flying until the last couple of games as well themselves. And Orient top of the league, Salford just being Salford, aren't they? They've got plenty to spend. They're going to be there or thereabouts again, you'd imagine. Tuesday though, clean sheet at Carlisle, at home to Carlisle, sorry, in a 0-0 draw. That was your first clean sheet since the 6th of August, though, which I was a little bit surprised about. I mean, you're scoring plenty, which is something we can't do. So, but conceded 9, scored 12 this season. So fairly open games, you'd imagine. Conceded 6 in them 4 away games. Gills slightly the other way. Tuesday night was our second league goal of the campaign. The last one coming in that home win against Rochdale. But we've kept 3 clean sheets in 4 at home in the league. The only game where we've conceded was at home to Harrogate, and they've done us on the break twice. But aside from that, we've been pretty solid on our own patch. So it's going to almost be a case a little bit like the irresistible force of the immovable object, I imagine. So I've probably jinxed it now, and it'll be a board draw. But yeah, looking at Mansfield more specifically, because that's what we want to do. We want to get you to tell us about your football club. I had a look at the goal scorers so far this season. You seem to be spreading them around. You've got 4 players already on 2 goals for the season in the league. Ollie Clark, is it Riley Arbottle?
Arbottle, yeah.
Arbottle, George Morris and Will Swan have all got 2 each. But I think there's been an injury. Is it to one of your strikers? Is it Reece Oates is out?
Oates, yeah, he's probably our main striker. He's picked up a freak injury, torn his pectoral muscle, which you don't see very often in football. So he's had to have an operation on that. He's out for a couple of months. And yeah, he's our main goal threat, really. So, but even last season, when that was the case, I think he only got 9 league goals. So we are a team that sort of shares them around. We've got midfielders who can chip in. We've got Ollie Hawkins, who's hybrid centre back and striker. So he's a big threat from set pieces. But yeah, we tend to share the goals around. We've created plenty of chances. I think one of the most in the league for chances created. But yeah, like you say, there is a bit of an issue at the other end with conceding goals. I think personally that's down to, I think we've only managed to name the same back 3 twice in a row. So there's not really been that chance to form partnerships and get an understanding of each other. But what I would say is, even though we kept a clean sheet on Tuesday night, we were pretty lucky. Carlisle missed 2 sitters, which they should have scored. But Ollie Hawkins at centre back, he's not everyone's favourite centre back. A lot of people say, if we're struggling to score goals, he should be starting up front. But I think the games he started at centre back, we've not conceded a goal in open play. The only goal we've conceded is a penalty at Doncaster, which Perch gave away. So there's signs of a bit of stability when he's in the middle of the back three. And the whole reason we've switched to a back three this season is to suit him playing in that middle role, so he doesn't sort of get pulled out on the flanks. He's not the quickest, but he's dominant in the air. And I think he's the key man. If we can get the centre backs right either side of him, then the defensive stability should start to come, hopefully.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. Like you say, hybrid striker comes centre back. It's almost like a throwback to the mid-90s. I remember Sol Campbell being a centre back / centre forward if he was playing like, that would have been Championship Manager before Football Manager. And I think Gary Docherty, there seems to be a theme that they were Tottenham players as well. That
John Parkin.
Maybe it's just because Spurs were rubbish in the 90s, so they just tried anyone anywhere to try and be successful. But yeah, another one there, like you say, it's an interesting one because he's predominantly a striker at Portsmouth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny you say about playing a back three to almost cover his lack of pace. We sort of flitted between a back four, then we went to a back three because we was conceding at the start of the season. We got battered at Tranmere. We were so bad that day, it was beyond belief. But then we've gone back to a back four the last couple, obviously, because we're not scoring enough. So we're trying to get more players into the final third and become more of a threat. Managed to keep a clean sheet with 10 men against Swindon, the last home game, despite Haji Minoga having probably the worst debut I've ever seen, getting sent off inside 10 minutes. And then, we created plenty Tuesday night against Grimsby. We had 2 disallowed. The last one, last minute, looked offside, so I've got no qualms about that. But there was one disallowed first period, Mika Mandron header from a corner. Watched it plenty of times, can't see why it's been ruled out. He's had 3 disallowed already this season, Mandron, and 2 of them have been very harsh, in my opinion. So we've hit the post against Walsall, we've hit the post against Swindon. We could be sitting here looking at a mid-table team, but they've not gone in, and then obviously you have to look at the issues. But back to Mansfield, Nigel Clough's been around the block, very good EFL manager. He's done it pretty much everywhere he's been. You've just got, for me, a really good squad of some really solid Football League professionals that know the game at this level and at the level above at League One. The likes of Lucas Aitkins, Burton legend, obviously you picked him up, played for Cloughie before. Hiram Boateng, I thought was a really good pickup in the summer. Ollie Clark, we've already mentioned. James Perch, you've already mentioned, gave a penalty away. Stephen Quinn. John Joe O'Toole, you picked up again as well, another ex-Clough player at Burton, I think, as well. So you've got the spine of a really good, experienced squad. Obviously, you were very close last season to promotion. I assume that's the aim again, is it? Is top 7 bare minimum?
Yeah, top 7 bare minimum. I think the talk from the players and the club manager who've all been interviewed have said that they're aiming to go one better. So I think they're aiming for top 3 automatic promotion, so we don't have the heartbreak of Wembley again, which I don't think I could. I don't think I could go through again if we got there. But yeah, the promotion definitely the aim. Like you say, we've got a very experienced squad, and Clough has said it's quite a small squad. I think there's only 19 or 20 outfield players, so he likes to keep it a small squad, but he's sort of insisted that he'd be happy to start any of them at any time. It's not a case of having a first choice and a backup in each position. We've got a lot of players who can play more than one position. Yeah, like you said, most of them have had success or played the majority of their career at higher levels. We've got a couple of youngsters on loan from Forest who've looked promising as well. As you say, Harbottle scored 2 goals. He looks a really good prospect at the back. So yeah, there's a bit of a mixture, more experience than youth. But yeah, I think it's especially the midfield area. I think most clubs at this level would envy the options we've got there, the quality we've got there. So it's certainly a squad that's equipped for minimum top 7, as you say.
Well, I don't want to jinx it and ruin your whole season, but I did my season preview video quite early in the summer. In fairness, it was a long way before the window shut because obviously it runs into a month of the season, and we had this early start this year because of the Winter World Cup. But I actually had Mansfield as champions. So you can blame me, Mansfield fans, when it goes horribly wrong over the next 8 months. Just think everything about the club. The owners, I follow them on social media. The manager that we've already spoke about, obviously, he's been and done it in this division, League One, the Championship. He's a very good player back in the day as well. So in terms of contacts and being able to get older players, like you said, you've got a couple in from Nottingham Forest. I'm sure there's, Fluffy's getting on the phone and getting a couple of favours from old people that he knows from his playing days. And like we've already mentioned as well, that the squad just looks very well equipped. You can probably mix it up. You've got a lot of experience. So if you have to stand up to teams that want to be physical, you can do it. But you've got some technically good players as well. And it just looks like a very... I don't mean this in any way disrespectfully. There's not a squad where you think, you've got, like one or two that are like stardust, like a Lionel Messi at a lower level. Obviously, it just looked like you've got a very good squad of players that all know their job. Like you said, if one gets injured or suspended, then you bring someone in. It's an absolute like for like. There's not a drop off in quality, and I think it's a risky way to do it because we had Steve Evans for 2 seasons, and he was always of the idea of going quality over quantity. I'm not sure he got the quality right all the time, especially last season when we got relegated, unfortunately. But he ran the same way. It was, a tight-knit squad. You try to get as many good players in you can with the budget that you're allowed. Unfortunately, it bit us on the arse last season because we had horrendous injuries and eventually had to play a lot of youth team players through the winter, and that ultimately cost him his job and eventually cost us our status as a League One football club. But so, really intrigued by the battle on Saturday, Sam. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. We've changed the way we play under Neil Harris. Predominantly, you've seen him, his Millwall teams and his Cardiff teams are quite 4-4-2, very direct and play in the final third. But he seems to have switched it right up. He's played a couple of systems this season. We started off 4-2-3-1. Then we went to a back three because we couldn't defend. Then he's almost played a 4-4-1-1 in the last couple of games to try and get 2 natural wingers. So be interesting to see how they match up. I'm going to ask you to be manager now. 3 o'clock Saturday. What team do you think will line up for Mansfield Town for kick-off in Kent?
I think barring any injuries that we're unaware of, I think it'll be the same team that played on Tuesday night. It was one change from the team that won at Doncaster. James picked up an injury, so Elliot Hewitt came in, and he was probably man of the match on Tuesday night. So I think you'll go with the same team. We struggled on Tuesday night to create chances. We barely created anything apart from Lapsley's goal, which was incorrectly disallowed for offside. But apart from that, we struggled to create. But I think away from home, we'll have perhaps a bit more space to operate in. Lucas Akins was brilliant, probably the best game he's had in a Mansfield shirt away at Doncaster, leading the line, running into channels. I think away from home we might have hit gold with the formula there, the same sort of setup as at Doncaster. The only thing I'd like to see possibly change would be Harbottle playing as the right centre back rather than left centre back. He's right footed, and at Doncaster he's really good on the ball. He steps out of defence. He can play through the lines. And I think when he's on the left, as he was on Tuesday and has been for most of the season, it sort of limits his ability to do that a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure that'll happen because Elliot Hewitt is played most of the last season at right back. So if anyone's going to start as the right centre back, it's probably going to be him. And he, to be fair as well, can carry the ball forward, but perhaps not got the same quality with the final ball or cross. But yeah, I'd stick with the same side as Tuesday night and give them another chance away from home. I think we could cause problems.
Fair enough. We want to keep an eye on them. So you're sort of I was looking at your lineups just on a couple of apps I use. So it's all you flitted between like a 3-5-2, a 3-4-1-2, and then it looks like a 3-4-1-1 as well. Almost an extra one to supplement the midfield as well, and a 3-4, 3-4, almost playing like a centre forward, and then a 10 as a 10, and an extra man in the middle of the park as well.
That's right. Yeah, Lapsley sort of dropping in the hole behind Akins, linking up. I think that Lapsley, I think he's suited more to attacking midfield or striker role than a centre midfield role. He gets in behind defences. His movement in and around the box is really good, a sort of a poacher's instinct, even though he's not a natural striker. I think, to be honest, unless Will Swan was ill on Tuesday night, so I don't know if he'll be ready for Saturday, but we've not really got any other options at the moment unless they move Bowery or Hawkins up front. So yeah, I can see it being the same team again. I think unless this, as I say, there's an injury we don't know about, or an illness in the meantime.
It's an interesting system. It's not, you don't really see teams play 3-5-1-1. It's obviously there's going to be a lot of congestion in the middle of the park, I'd imagine, but another intriguing thing to watch. Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see how close that 10 can get to your centre forward. Obviously, whoever it may be, it'd be Aikins or whoever else, like you say. If Swan's fit, they might play him. So, yeah, an interesting one, certainly. Like I say, because I said the formation to you, and I thought it can't be in 3-4-1 because that's not enough. Yeah, 3-5-1-1, which is a slightly different one. But obviously, if it's working, then the old adage comes into play, doesn't it? If it's not broke, don't fix it, and all that. So, one to see how Gills trying to counter that, because it could be that there's plenty of bodies in the middle of the park, especially if we go 4-4-1-1. We're going to be outnumbered. So. Be interesting to see how Neil Harris tries to set us up to counter that.
Yeah, certainly be congested in there, and our midfielders sort of operate as a diamond, so there's not really any...
Makes more sense. They've got it on the app, they've just got it listed as a flat 3, a flat 4, and then one behind, so...
Yeah, so it's more of a diamond, so Hartigan at the base, Maris and Clark either side.
Further on, yeah, they've not got them pushed on as much. So, yeah, so it's almost 3 centre-backs, wing-backs, and then a diamond and a central striker.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, it will definitely be congested in the midfield. We found that on Tuesday night. Carlisle set up quite well, set up little space between the lines, and if you don't move the ball quickly there, you sort of end up going side to side, and the attacks end up breaking down. But with us being away from home, I think obviously you guys will be looking for a win being at home. So hopefully there'll be a bit more space for us for our midfield to operate in.
Yeah, it's thrown me now because I'm not sure how we're going to line up. If I was picking it, I'd almost be inclined to go with a back 3 and almost match up. But Neil's been braver in the last 2 and gone with a back 4 to try and get us becoming more of an attacking threat. So I think, similarly to what you said, I think he might trust those players that put in a decent showing on Tuesday. So I think there'll be one change, because I think Scott Caskett's going to miss out. He had to come off at half-time with a groin problem, so I don't think he's going to make it. So for me, I think it'll be Glenn Morris in goal. Back 4 will be Robbie McKenzie, Max Emer, Elkan Baggott and Ryan Law. I think we'll then have Jordan Green and Hakeem Delucan from the sides. Stuart O'Keefe and Sean Williams trying to be that shield with experience in the middle of the park. And then I think it'll be Ben Reeves off of Mika Mandron. So, but I'd imagine you can probably change that if we had to. You could almost move McKenzie in as a third centre back, and you'd have to almost play a winger as a wing back. So it'd be slightly square pegs round holes, but it'd be interesting to see how it develops as the game goes on. Final question before I let you go, and it's the one I don't like asking, but we all have to answer it. Is what do you think the score will be come 5 p.m?
I think we might edge it. I think I'll go for 2-1 Stags. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet, to be honest. As you say, we're struggling with those at the moment. So perhaps a set piece goal or something like that. But I think, given the way we played last time away from home, I think they'll go out there with confidence, and I think we might just have too much for you at this early stage of the season while you're still bedding in and players getting used to the systems and changes and that sort of thing. I fancy us for a 2-1 win.
No, that's fair enough. I've gone the other way. Obviously, you have to back your team, and I think the last 2 performances have been very good, and we probably deserve more than the 2 points we've got. I think certainly the better side against Swindon, despite having less players for 80 minutes. And like I say, the disallowed goals on Tuesday. I'm not saying Grimsby were without their chances, but Swindon were very, very pedestrian against us, and we looked fairly comfortable for a side that was a player down. So looking at the clean sheets for us, the fact that you can't keep a clean sheet, I'm going to back us to score a goal again. So I'm going to say 1-0 Gills.
Yeah.
That's my heart. My head probably says 1-1, but yeah, I'm trying to be positive because we put in 2 decent showings. But I mean, I'd take a point wouldn't be a disaster against a side that started fairly solidly, but we need to start winning football matches. So yeah, heart says 1-0 to Gillingham.
Yeah, I always fancy us to score. but yeah, it's just the uncertainty at the other end. So yeah, I can see both teams scoring. So yeah, it's going to be a tight game. I don't think either side's going to run away with it. But yeah, looking forward to the game.
Yeah, I am as well. And I've not seen a side. I know Tranmere beat us 3-0, but we were very, very bad. I mean, we handed it to them on the plate. But aside from that, I've not seen a team that's torn us apart. Just a clear lack of goals at one end is obviously holding us back at the moment, because you need them to win football matches. You can keep all the clean sheets under the sun, but if you're not scoring, then you're not going to win many football matches. Sam, though, it's been a real pleasure, mate. Appreciate you coming on. So thank you very much. Are you coming to the game Saturday?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I'm going to make it. Got other plans. So yeah, it's fine. But I'll definitely catch up on iFollow afterwards. So yeah, looking forward to see the result.
Excellent stuff. Right, Gills fans and Mansfield fans, if you are watching, please get commenting down below. Let us know what you think your team will be, whether that is for the Gills or the Stags. Let us know what you think the score will be. Which set of fans potentially will be happy or unhappy come 5 p.m. Please keep liking, please keep subscribing, and doing all that you do, because I've said it a million times and I'll say it a million times more. This channel is absolutely nothing without people supporting it and interacting. So thank you very much. We'll be back Saturday for the game for a match day live. I think it's me and Stocky on duty this week. Boz, unfortunately, is pulled up injured. He's got tendonitis. That is where the similarities with Ollie Lee end, I'm afraid. But yeah, we'll be in the ground. Come and say hello. And then I will be back Sunday as well to record the Monday review with Reese from the German Gills, which will go out first thing Monday morning. So you can listen to us, fingers crossed, talking about a decent performance and a positive result. But for now, enjoy the rest of your week and up the Gills.